Was waiting to see today. During my interview last week with Lori Vallow, she told me she had been preparing, and during her opening statements, she got pretty emotional, saying her daughter Tylee did not get along with her husband, Charles Vallow, and that her family acted in self-defense against Charles Vallow that day in July of 2019. But the prosecutor said that's not what happened. That evidence shows this crime was planned out and it was all based on extreme religious beliefs. I want to show you some video from today in court. Prosecutor Trina Kay said in July of 2019, Lori Vallow and her brother Alex Cox were acting on her religious beliefs, that she believed Charles Vallow was a possessed spirit by the name of Ned and they needed to kill his body. At that same time, the prosecutor said Lori had begun an affair with Doomsday author Chad Daybell and not only wanted to be with Chad, but wanted to collect on Charles's life insurance policy. Well, unbeknownst to Lori, Charles had actually removed her as beneficiary. The prosecutor said text messages and phone calls show planning between Lori and Alex to kill Charles Vallow.
In July of 2019, Lori Vallow wanted to be Lori Daybell, wife of Chad Daybell. And in July of 2019, Lori Vallow wanted to keep the same lifestyle that she had with Charles. And she could get all of this if Charles was dead. She could marry Chad Daybell and become Lori Daybell. She would get a $1 million life insurance policy from Charles Vallow. She would get Social Security for herself and their son, JJ, as a child of a dead spouse. And all of this would be true if Charles Vallow was dead.
Then what everybody was waiting to hear was Lori Vallow Daybell's turn. The first time the jury would hear from her, Lori detailed her 13-year marriage with Charles, calling it mostly a happy marriage. At one point, she started crying and needed a tissue, saying her daughter Tylee did not get along with Charles. The day of the shooting, she claimed Charles started to scream at her because she took his phone. She said Tylee then got a bat to protect her, and she said at some point during the bat scuffle, Alex Cox got a gun and shot Charles in self-defense. She called this a family tragedy.
As the state has mentioned, they're alleging that insurance money was my motive. Social Security was my motive. Spouses having insurance policies is not a crime. Collecting Social Security is not a crime. Self-defense is not a crime. A family tragedy is not a crime.
The state said Charles was shot twice, and the second shot was while he was laying down, which they said is clearly not a self-defense shot. Of course, the kids who were part of this ordeal that day, Tylee Ryan and JJ Vallow, they're both dead, and Lori Vallow Daybell was convicted of killing them. She uses that phrase family tragedy a lot, which is something that she used with me in our interview last week, calling all the deaths in this web of mysterious deaths and murders a family tragedy. Now, she is serving as her own defense attorney, which means she will cross-examine everybody who takes the stand, and that started today. There were 2 different officers that she cross-examined, so how did that go? We'll have all of that coming up tonight at 6. Guys, I'll send it back to you.
Brianna.